At the beginning of the 1990s, America and many countries around the world were in fear. Violent crimes, murders, and robberies had reached the highest levels in history. Experts thought this trend was unstoppable and said cities were drifting into chaos. Then something strange happened. Without any warning, crime rates suddenly dropped. Police chiefs said, "Our strategy worked." Economists said, "The economy improved." However, an economist named Rick Nevin put forward a much more terrifying theory in an article he published in 1999. According to him, the cause of crime wasn't poverty or bad policing. What created criminals was the air we breathed. The answer was hidden in number 82 on the periodic table: lead. For the better part of the 20th century, we put leaded gasoline in our cars. It was a great solution to stop engine knocking. But tons of lead particles coming out of exhaust pipes mixed into the air, the soil, and from there, into our lungs. Lead is a neurotoxin. It is a nightmare, especially for babies and small children. It hinders brain development and lowers IQ. But the most critical point Rick Nevin emphasized in his article was this: lead damages the area of the brain that provides impulse control, meaning it turns a person into someone more aggressive, more impatient, and who acts without thinking about the consequences. Rick Nevin took the leaded gasoline consumption data and drew a graph. Lead usage had peaked in the early 1970s. Then he put another graph, the violent crimes graph, on top of it. At first glance, there seemed to be no connection. But Nevin used a simple yet brilliant logic here: the time shift. A child exposed to lead as a baby doesn't commit a crime at that moment. About 20 years need to pass for them to reach the age of committing crimes. When Nevin shifted the lead graph forward by 23 years, he encountered an incredible match. Lead increased in the 40s, crime increased in the 60s, lead peaked in the 70s, crime peaked in the 90s, lead was banned in the mid-70s, and 20 years later, crime rates cut off like a knife. Nevin's article wasn't limited to just crime. He showed that the impact of lead on society was like dominoes. According to the data in the article, every drop in blood lead levels resulted in an increase in the average IQ score of society. Between 1976 and 1991, blood lead levels in American children dropped by 75%. This resulted in a significant rise in IQ scores. And even more surprising, rates of early pregnancy. Just like crime, this was also related to impulse control and planning ability. The lead curve followed the teenage pregnancy curve almost exactly. Rick Nevin's work showed us this. Sometimes, biological and environmental causes can lie at the root of problems we think are social. By banning leaded gasoline, we unknowingly saved millions of brains and lowered crime rates. However, if we don't learn from history, statistics can rise again. See you with new information.